the most celebrated graphic novel ever, Watchmen. Now the Watchmen characters in the DC universe come together for the first time in the most anticipated story in years. DC proudly presents Doomsday Clock. Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, a 12-issue comic book series. Get issue number 1 at a comic shop near you.
One of my personal favorite artists we have working with some DC books these days, Mr. Mauricet.
Hey, nice to meet you. Good being here.
So why don't start us off? Tell us what you're going to be sketching today.
Today I'm going to be sketching Etrigan the Demon.
The Demon. What is it about the Demon that draws you to him, or what about him excites you to put him on paper?
I discovered the Demon when I was quite young, actually. I come from Belgium, and we had those in little pocket books, black and white, and I didn't know how to approach Kirby art at that point. It scared me. Same with Commandy.
Yes, the Kirby, we can get pretty out there.
And then I got back in there later, and he's just an amazing character.
Fantastic. Get us started.
Yep. Very good?
Yeah. Yep. If you don't know, Mauricet also works on our Gang of Harley's books. I'm sure we have some Harley Quinn fans, and we've got a crew of Harley Quinn artists and writers over there. Did you see Jimmy and Amanda and Chad over there? So shout out to Harley over there. And then as far as your process, do you do from a pencil, do you work hard on the pencil part of the sketch, or do you do a light pencil and then go to pen?
You mean in general when I work on pages?
Yeah.
It all depends on the deadline.
Good answer.
But these days I work mostly on computer.
Yeah.
So I do like small thumbnails on paper. I scan those in and I blow them up and I go from there. And sometimes I do like what we call pencil inking when I have to go real fast. Or if I have the time, I'll do like real pencils and then ink from there. But I do both, so I ink myself. So I don't need to have like really tight pencils because I know myself. So
sure. Cool. We'll see how Etrigan the Demon starts to take shape here. Yeah, the pencil's coming a little light on the screen here.
It's a little bit light, yeah.
It's a little light here. We'll move to pen and
get some
nice dark outlines on it for you. Now, going back to the Kirby, everybody who's fans of comics, fan of Jack Kirby, we're celebrating his 100th birthday this year.
Definitely.
What is it about Kirby's style that was, I assume he was an influence on you as a young artist?
Kirby is all about impact, more than anything else, and directing your face things, and pure energy. So, and he's like really essence of superhero comics.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
and,
that's the part of it I love.
And,
take us out there to new worlds and things we haven't seen before.
And apart from that, he's like. Most of us probably wouldn't be here.
That's true. That's true. I think we can give it up for Jack Kirby, everybody, right?
Definitely.
That's right. Yeah. So here we go with some lines. We'll this will pick up. And then outside of the Demon, or Harley, obviously, are there any other characters that you're a big fan of, or that, if you're doing a warm-up sketch that you should go to sketch out?
I love Death, the character Death.
Yeah, sure.
Sandman, definitely. So I'm mostly, these days, a Vertigo reader.
Yeah.
When it comes to the DCU, well, anything Batman.
Yeah.
Mostly the villains. that's about it. And I'd love to be at some point working on a teen book, like the Teen Titans and stuff like that, because I like to draw teens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as like a team book versus like a solo hero book, teen books can sometimes get there's a lot more characters to draw. Is that something that excites you?
I just got out of the gang, and I don't know how many characters.
True. Yeah.
So it's always tougher to do a group book,
yeah.
But at the same time it's really interesting because you got all these different type of shapes and different type of characters that you have to come up with, and that's
sure.
I think that's my forte. Mm-hmm. Not especially the drawing, but characterize different characters. So that's what I like about it.
Yeah, getting everybody's individual personalities on the page and their expressions. As you know, the characters in our universe, they all have very distinct personalities. So being able to capture, those slight little bits of expression is a really unique talent. So how did you get started drawing? I assume you started as a youth over in Belgium?
Yeah, I've been working professionally for the last 30 years, mm-hmm. and mainly for French publishers.
Yep.
Trying to get into DC for quite some years. Actually, I've been a couple of things a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like a couple of filling pages for an Adventure of Superman issue, mm-hmm. when Mike Ring was still drawing us, way back.
Yep.
I've done lots of stuff for the licensing department in the Batman animated style. That was also a long time ago. And but then I went back to European comics mostly because, well, I had a job over there. So. Yeah. And then, like 5 years ago, I went back to the comic convention in New York, and I just bumped into the guy over there with the cap on, Jimmy Palmiotti.
Yeah.
And we hadn't seen each other for years. And he says, "Are you up to these days?"
Yeah.
He says, "Still doing comics." He says, "Would you like to draw a 90-page story?" I said, "Sure," and that's how I got started. With the Christmas issue.
So shout out to Jimmy for that one.
Oh, definitely. Thank you so much.
We can also take questions. If anybody here has a question for Mauricet, feel free to speak up. Or not. Do you have any tips for like younger artists or people that are looking to start out or
tips?
Fine-tune their craft?
Work hard.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Working. Be dedicated to the craft. Don't hesitate to copy.
Sure.
The artist you like at the beginning, because you have to. It's like when you eat something, you have to eat it, chew it in, mm-hmm. and then just digest it. And the more you digest things, and the more you come up with something after that. So that's the main thing. And and be dedicated to the job. I mean, if you want to become a comic book artist,
just keep at it. Draw
every day. Every day, at least a few hours. That's the thing. And also, when you start to when you think that you're really getting to something, don't hesitate to show your work, because something I realized is people won't. I mean, most of the time people won't come to you. You have to go and show, and that's about it.
And then you've also done some work on one of my favorite quarter imprints we have going now, the Hanna-Barbera line. Some Dastardly and Muttley.
Oh, lucky am I? Eh?
That must have been a blast to draw.
Well, it was really strange because I got a call from Mary Javins, who's my editor.
Yep.
And she says, "How about you working on Dastardly and Muttley?" I said, "Sure." And then she said, "Like, we've got to finish." I was like, "That's kind of weird." And it sure is, but it's a real fun ride.
Yeah, that's great.
And Dastardly and Muttley are probably some of my favorite cartoon characters from when I was a kid.
Same here. Like, I grew up on all those those Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and seeing them sort of come to life in this sort of a new way and sort of a new generation of them has been really fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be the same thing, but at the same time completely different because it's set nowadays.
Yeah.
Those are like current pilots for the USAF. And I can say that they're not chasing a pigeon anymore; they're chasing a drone.
Right.
That's not spoiling anything.
Technology. And then speaking of technology, you've said you work digitally for the most part. How was that transition for you? Was it a smooth transition? Did you, crave pen and paper at a certain point, or was it, was it easier for you at the end of the day?
Once again, it's faster.
Yeah.
When I started on the Gang of Harleys, the first issue and a half were done on paper, and then I just realized it was like probably going to be too slow. And in the middle of the page, I just like I scanned it, and I moved digital. Yep. But I had done digital books before that, so but and I think I'll go back to paper at some time. Yeah. It just yeah, but I like paper. Yeah. I mean, it's.
The demon's starting to look really nice here. That's a good question. If you're starting out, the young man here said, if he had the drawing, he would take it and he would sort of trace it and get a feel for it.
Yeah, it's a good start. Yeah. If you're stuck with a question about your art or how to draw feet or how to draw whatever, look at people who found solution before you and
sure.
But at some point you have to stop comparing, but there's no problem starting with that. I mean, really, it's, we all have heroes as artists, and then
all the best artists, all the best writers.
Exactly.
We borrow.
Exactly.
Yes, these Kirby dots that get up in there. I love them.
Yeah.
Yes, got to get the eyes correct.
The eyes. And I'm going to show in some gray tones.
Now, when he's done here, we are going to give this sketch away to one of the lucky fans here in front of us. Is there a specific trivia question or anything you would like to ask of our audience in order to win the grand prize?
At the beginning of the interview, I mentioned the country I came from. So, you got it right, sir. Perfect.
All right. Nice job, man. What's your name?
Talon.
Talon. Are you aware of Talon, the Batman villain? You got to read some Court of Owls. We just had Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo over there earlier. They'll tell you about the Court of Owls. Looking really nice here.
Are we good? Yeah.
Awesome. Would you
yeah.
Would you like it made out to Talon?
Yes. T-A-L-Y-N.
T-A-L-Y-N. Talon. That's gorgeous. Thank you so much. Talon, congratulations. Let's give it up for Mauricet, everybody.
Thank you.